been teaching Pilates officially for about 10 years. I wanted to train with BASI for several reasons. One of them was Rael. He was just so enthusiastic about his style and so passionate. I just needed to study it.
I'm definitely honored to be part of the BASI faculty. I think sometimes, how is it possible?
The BASI network spans 30 countries and approximately 100 host locations.
I've recently given courses in Australia, in Canada, and in Korea.
Somewhere around the world there is a BASI course waiting for you.
I think if you're really serious about being an instructor, BASI is the place to be.
BASI students come into the course knowing that they're going to receive a college-level education. When I graduate, I plan to constantly pursue higher education to make sure that the journey never ends.
It's a modular system. The material is consistent, but the way it is delivered is different. I do not want a cookie cutter type course.
It's a different type of professional that comes to BASI.
Rael has really created a comfortable place that you can belong.
It's a warm family spirit.
We are a supportive organization. People are genuinely happy.
BASI Pilates, reach for greatness.
I use Pilates Interactive to stay up to date with my technique, to maintain my integrity of my form, and so that I can teach that to the clients as well.
Pilates Interactive is a great resource for the Pilates teacher as well as clients. You can take it anywhere. It's like having the instructor right there cueing you through.
It's different than when it's on paper. When you can actually see the body in motion, it's a totally different experience.
Every client I work with is unique in their own way. Pilates Interactive allows me to go in there and create a specific workout for them.
You can filter and sort the exercises by whether you want to work with a certain muscle group or a certain apparatus.
Pilates Interactive has been a really helpful tool for me in my studying. Actually watching a live video is really helpful, and I really love that it's affordable. It's definitely a tool that all instructors can utilize in their own practice.
Go to PilatesInteractive.com and get started today.
Few modern-day Pilates practitioners have delved further and deeper into the Pilates method than Rael Isacowitz. Rael's practice and teaching of Pilates are both unique and inspirational. He embodies the true spirit of Joseph Pilates, coupling fluid athleticism with a profound inner dynamic. For over 30 years, Rael has been teaching his approach to Pilates instructors around the world. From the United States to Greece, Japan, Germany, South Africa, and over 15 other countries, Rael has nurtured a generation of skilled and passionate Pilates teachers. Rael calls his educational institute Body Arts and Science International. Most of us know it as BASI Pilates. Founded in 1989, BASI Pilates is an international Pilates training academy with over 100 host studios.
I was first attracted to the program after I realized that all of my favorite Pilates classes were taught by BASI certified instructors. I have multiple certifications, and BASI has given me by far the most value.
Around the world, thousands of BASI graduates are today running studios, teaching classes, and spreading the Pilates message that physical fitness is the first requisite of happiness. Those are the words of the founder and guiding spirit of the method, Joseph Pilates, who opened the first Pilates studio in New York City in the 1920s. Joseph and his wife Clara established a devoted following in New York that was extremely diverse and included the dance and performing arts communities. They could hardly have anticipated the mass following their system would have by the end of the century. Today, There are an estimated 10 million Pilates practitioners in the United States alone, and 25 million or more worldwide. The surviving group of Joseph Pilates' original students are called the Elders, and Rael has been fortunate to have studied with several of them during the course of his career. Kathy Grant was Rael's dear friend and mentor. Speaking of Rael, she said, "He is the male that Mr. Pilates wished for to continue his work." Kathy and Lolita San Miguel were the only two teachers actually certified by Joseph Pilates to teach his work, and both have been highly influential in guiding and inspiring Rael's career.
Rael? Well, Rael is quite a beautiful mover. I think undoubtedly he is amongst the males the most beautiful mover. And he has such a wonderful personality, joyful personality, and such great enthusiasm that it's very hard to be around Rael and not to share in his enthusiasm.
Rael has written 2 definitive books on the method: Pilates, published in 2006, and Pilates Anatomy, written in collaboration with Karen Klippinger and published in 2011. Both have been translated into numerous languages. A series of workbooks on all the apparatus, including the new Avalon system, several award-winning DVDs, and a cutting-edge online software resource for Pilates professionals. The Avalon system is the most profound advance in Pilates equipment since the days of Joseph Pilates. Designed by Rael, it adds resistance to apparatus that did not have it previously, expands the resistance mechanisms of other pieces, and for the first time creates a universal standard for spring settings. These changes expand the equipment's potential dramatically, with resulting gains in strength, flexibility, and control. Behind everything that Rael and BASI have achieved is the drive to educate teachers of the highest caliber, people who will preserve the classical legacy while ensuring that Pilates retains its relevance in the contemporary world.
I'll go ahead and go forward for me.
At the heart of each teacher training course is the BASI block system. Devised by Rael, the block system is a unique method of organizing the enormous Pilates repertoire.
BASI's block system is a brilliant way of categorizing the hundreds of different exercises into an organized and structured format. In the therapeutic environment, this is very helpful for us because we only have a limited time with our patients, and using this block system as a tool really helps us to make sure that we're selecting the most appropriate exercises for that particular patient, while at the same time ensuring that they get a whole body workout.
BASI Teacher Training is a rigorous college-level program of academic study, practical work, observation, and apprentice teaching.
Rael, as a founder and director, puts his very, very special stamp on it with his passion and his spirit, and that drives through the education, even with my students here who haven't met Rael in person yet, but they feel that spirit and the passion and they want to be part of the team.
The quality education and the principles that BASI has installed in me, I'm still using today, not only in the method, but also in my personal life.
As Rael often says, completing a BASI training course is just the beginning of the process of becoming a Pilates teacher. True expertise only comes with years of practice, experience, and continued learning. BASI is unique in providing a formal framework of postgraduate studies. Pilates professionals can specialize in specific facets of the method, including dance specialization, Pilates for the mature population, Pilates for children, pre- and postnatal courses, specialization in working with functional limitations and injuries, and Pilates for athletic performance.
Working with athletes, I think, is different than working with the general public. I think to work with athletes, it takes a special person or special training. Being an athlete, I also want to be the best that I possibly can be at any goal I have, and I thought the best way to become one of the best Pilates instructors, or maybe one of the best Pilates students, was to learn from the man himself. So here I am.
I find it interesting how I can be in such different parts of the world, yet the people that seem to come to take the BASI certification come really prepared. They're dedicated, they're passionate, they're serious about the work, and yet they're totally ready for exploration. And I find that really interesting, and I think it speaks volumes about the integrity of this course and the reputation around the world.
BASI Pilates is for people who are serious about Pilates and passionate about teaching it. It's not easy to become a BASI graduate, but the rewards are immense. BASI Pilates is more than just a company, it is a community, a family of true professionals spanning the globe.
Love the idea that we're all a community. Everybody come and visit us in Greece.
Yeah.
For money. We'll come visit you wherever you are.
To honor Pilates is to honor the legacy of Pilates. Body Arts and Science International is proud to be a part of this legacy and family tree that we today have the privilege of calling a community. Joseph Pilates was born in Düsseldorf, Germany in 1880. His challenges as a child and his drive to overcome physical restrictions laid the foundation of what was to become his life's work. He studied Eastern and Western forms of exercise and philosophies, and was most influenced by ancient Greek and Roman regimens. He had a fascination for all forms of wrestling, boxing, gymnastics, and acrobatics, which can be witnessed in some early material. As the political climate began to change in Germany, Joseph Pilates decided to head for the United States of America, by some accounts at the invitation of the manager of Max Schmeling, a world title-holding boxer. On the way over, he met Clara, who became his wife and co-worker. Joseph was an innovator and called by George Balanchine, the great choreographer, the genius of the body. Clara was a gifted teacher, always compassionate and by some accounts a better teacher than Joe. They set up the first Pilates studio in New York City in 1926. Although it was frequented by a very eclectic group of people, it was particularly the dance community that recognized the value in Joseph Pilates' work, garnering the support of such luminaries as Martha Graham and the father of American modern dance, Ted Shawn. Joseph Pilates' connection with the world of dance may have started early in his life in Europe by meeting Rudolf van Laban, renowned for his movement notation, and continued throughout his career in the United States of America. Well-known dancers such as Hania Holm incorporated Pilates into their technique. All the first-generation teachers of Pilates, several of whom I had the privilege of meeting and studying with, were dancers following on from a long line of dance innovators. Joseph's early work with dancers included regular visits to the famous Jacob's Pillow gatherings in upstate New York and rehabilitation of dancers who later went on to become devotees and great teachers in their own right, such as Kathy Stanford Grant and Eve Gentry. He was a man of infinite gadgets, some that are recognizable and used today, and others that have fallen by the wayside. He did foresee the potential popularity of his equipment and its commercial success, and took out a patent for the universal reformer in the early 1920s, although it looked very different to the final product we use today. Early footage of Joseph Pilates demonstrating his system and some of his equipment looks like a well-formulated infomercial. A favorite of mine is the Wonder Chair. I claim this was the first true home gym. Not only could it provide a full body workout, but could double as an armchair. Of course, the mat work was always a favorite. We can also see an early version of the step barrel and the universal reformer. Joseph Pilates was a unique individual. Besides his intricate understanding of human movement and his firm belief in the mind-body connection, an underlying principle throughout his work, he was definitely a showman, as well as having a true reverence and love for the animal kingdom and nature.
By several accounts, Mr. Pilates intended his work to be largely for the male population. This view is fortified by early films showing him teaching classes of almost all male participants, and many of the studio shots and equipment demonstrations show mainly men with few women. It seems ironic that the Pilates boom that was to come many years later was spearheaded largely by women. Being a man, it has been somewhat of a personal mission, as well as one of Body Arts and Science International, to welcome and involve more men. It is happening. If only Joseph H. Pilates could be here to witness it. He died a disillusioned man, never seeing the unfathomable popularity of his method, so far beyond his studio in New York City.